What I have for offer is a Chrysler 440. It's a 1976 block. It's been bored 20 over. Uses a stock forged crank. The mains and throws are standard. The rods are stock. Resized big end with ARP bolts. And the pistons are KB 146s. They're the same as, they're a discontinued piston now, but they're the same as the KB 236s. The difference between these guys, they use a 16th inch ring in this engine, and the 236s use a 5/64th inch ring. And there's Molly rings in this engine. The cylinder heads are 452 castings, and they have the comp springs and retainers to match the camshaft. There's a little bit of work done to them that I discussed with the purchaser. On top of this engine, the intake is a Edelbrock single plane Torker 2, and on top of that is a 3310 Holley 780 vacuum secondary that's been rebuilt with a new electric choke. All new parts on the engine. Aluminum water pump housing, new damper, harmonic balancer. Distributor is stock, it's been rebuilt, and I'm also using an FBO adjustable plate in there for advanced timing, the ignition timing. And if anybody isn't familiar with the FBO plate, they should look it up online. Quite an ingenious idea. And it makes a stock distributor very adjustable for the performance advance curves. All my engines come with an engine assembly workbook, and it lists the specs, the clearances, etc., so you know exactly what you're getting and we don't rely on memory. Comp cam card. I milled the heads not quite 20,000 because I wanted a 90cc combustion chamber, and that gives me a 9.8 to 1 compression ratio. Static, that is. And I also include a parts list and what's in the engine, and you also get the receipts for machining and etc. This engine was built basically like Hot Rod Magazine did, pushing I guess 20 years ago, on a 383. They were testing intake manifolds with a specific stock block and heads arrangement. I think they were pulling with this intake manifold close to 300 or 440 horsepower. And basically, when I put this together, I was looking at about 1 horsepower per cubic inch. I think that's easily attainable with this combination. The camshaft that we're used and I'm using is the Comp Extreme Energy 285 high lift, and that has 0.545 lift both on intake and exhaust, and the duration is 231 and 237 intake exhaust at 050. The lobe separation angle is 110 degrees, and it actually pulls about 11 inches of manifold vacuum, which is very, very good for how aggressive the camshaft is. So you can still run power brakes and accessories on this with this engine. I say there's a 6-quart Street Hemi pan, and they say new pickup. They say a high volume oil pump. Like, so no junk, all good parts. And I'll fire it up and you can hear it run. W30 engine oil, we got good oil pressure at idle. Fuel pressure 5.5 psi. Manifold vacuum. like I say, just a little around 11 inches. And not quite up to operating temperature. It's around 160 degrees. Idling at 900 RPM. Clean burning. No leaks of any kind, no oil leaks, no coolant leaks. Nice chop from the camshaft. Nick's Garage recently did a build like this on a 383 to duplicate what Hot Rod Magazine did. And he ended up with about 438 horsepower with a little bit less compression. I think he was 9.3 to 1, where this one is 9.8 to 1. It's a nice stout little engine. Nothing exotic, tried and true. Thanks for your time.